So I got a special project for you guys today. Definitely something very unique. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So if you've been following along, you know we've been busy out on the tree farm lately, fertilizing, planting, all that stuff. Well, we got a little rain overnight. It's pretty muddy out, so we're kind of off today on the farm. And I've been doing some stuff on the side here at the sawmill. You see all these beauty red oak logs behind me. I've been trucking in some logs from a neighbor here who took down some trees, and that's what I was supposed to be doing, but blew a hydraulic line on the truck, and of course it's a kind of a special order hydraulic line, and well, very expensive, and that's maybe going to be a video for another day if I choose to film that frustration. But I got some really nice logs here, some pine logs, some white oak, and I got some beauties coming in, so there's going to be a lot of logs coming in here in the next week or so. But that's not our project today. I just had a log dropped off here, and it's a really neat project, and I think it's going to be a good one. So let me show you what we got here. This beauty that we're sawing today. Yeah, this is what we're sawing today. Now I know you guys think I've lost my mind. Hear me out on this. It'll all make sense to you in a second. I had somebody reach out to me from Ronald Mcdonald House, which, if you're not aware, is a charity, a very noble charity. They help families in need when their children need urgent care. They provide housing and aid, you know, basically helping out the families of sick children, which, you know, I have 2 young boys at home, so that particularly hit close to home for me. So when this volunteer from Ronald McDonald House reached out, she was inquiring. They had taken a tree down on the property at the Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia, and they wanted to use it. She's a hobby woodworker. They wanted to use it to make something that they could sell in their auctions that they have to raise money for Ronald McDonald House. And she wanted to know what the cost would be to saw and dry it so that she could make something, donating her time for this auction. And I said, I'm not going to charge you for that. I will do that free of cost. It's the least I can do to help out a good cause. So I had no idea what they were bringing me. I didn't know if they were going to bring me a log like that or what. I didn't really ask a whole lot of questions. I figured whatever shows up, we'll deal with it. So this is what we got, which at first glance, well, who knows? But her vision is to try to get some kind of slabs out of this main piece and then use these pieces for legs. She's going to turn them on a lathe and make legs. If this will work out or not, your guess is as good as mine. We won't know until we saw it. So she left me these legs here. She also wants those to go in the kiln. I told her that may or may not work out, but I made her this guarantee. I'm going to saw this to the best of my ability to get the nicest lumber I can out of it. And if this does not go well, because this is marginal at best, that's putting it nicely. If this does not make nice slabs that they can use, I will personally donate something that they can build something and put it in their auction. So we're going to put this on the mill. This other stuff we'll set to the side. We're going to put the main piece on the mill, and let's just see what we can make out of this thing. It's definitely heavier than it looks. I'll give it that. So I'm not gonna lie, sawing something this small on a wood miser can actually be a challenge. I have a stop here and a stop here, and we're gonna be pretty close till I get this finagled. And it's too heavy for me to do it one-handed, but basically you have to be hitting a stop or else you're gonna just send it flying off the side of the mill. And sometimes what I can do, if something's too short, I can put down sacrificial boards to act as a stop and saw through them. This one, I think I'm gonna be able to make work out. And honestly, the way it dropped on here is, I think, gonna be our best orientation. I may actually stick a board or something underneath there to raise that up a little bit. I mean, I have hydraulic toe boards on this mill, but that does me no good when you're sawing something 4 foot long. So I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit to get it just the way I want it. And then we'll just slice into it. She told me it was maple, and it's got a weird bark on it, to be honest with you, but it's possible. They have, looks like anchor seal on the ends of it, so I'm not 100% sure, but it sure is heavy. My first thought was maybe it was Tree of Heaven, Alanthus, but I think it's way too heavy for that. So maybe when we saw into it, could be beech, honestly, now that I'm looking at it. Let me get it set up. We'll get the saw going and we'll see what we got. Don't have to travel far to find a scrap piece of wood around here. Although I say scrap, that's a walnut cut off there. It's actually pretty nice. Boy, that doesn't give us a whole lot, but I think that's gonna work. So I don't gamble much, and that's a prime example why. I knew in the first little cut there that that blade was pretty well shot. I had cut a bunch of white oak with it yesterday. And, well, I thought I'll just make one more cut to get this squared up, then I'll change the blade. Well, as you saw, that my clamping didn't really hold out and it started rocking a little bit. Well, that was enough to break that blade. Gambled and lost. Gonna put on a new blade, clamp this a little bit better, start again. So how do we make out? I think pretty good. Check it out. We got a few 1-inch pieces, which, you know, with a little imagination, could definitely be used for something. Trim them up, make some engraved signs, plaques, whatever. Serving boards, you know, a lot of uses for stuff like that. And then we cut 3 2-inch pieces, and those I think would be really neat. I like her concept of maybe doing a bench with those legs there, maybe with something like that, you know, would be really neat. I can tell you this is beech. I know, because it's beech. I've sawed plenty of beech before, dried it. Beautiful wood. Normally you have, you know, a red heartwood. Since this is basically a limb section, it's not as mature. There's not much heartwood. You just see a little bit there starting. So it's more of the cream sapwood. It's a hardwood. It's nice wood. In my experience, it's kind of difficult to dry. It wants to really twist and turn. So hopefully this will dry all right. That's my next step. I'm going to stack it on this pallet here just because it's so short. It'll just make my life easier. I'm going to sticker stack it, and I'm going to maybe put some banding on it to kind of try to cinch it down and put some pressure on it. I'm going to cover it. We're going to forget about it for a couple months. This thick stuff in particular, it's got to air dry. They're not in a huge hurry for it, so I said the best thing we can do is let it air dry a while. I'll finish it in the kiln. I'll send it back to them. So as I mentioned, this is going to be, whatever they decide to make out of this stuff is going to be auctioned off, Ronald McDonald House. I have asked them, once we get closer to that point in a few months, to give me all the information so I can let you guys know. The best way to find that stuff out, follow me on Facebook. I post a lot of stuff there that never makes it to YouTube, a lot of projects and stuff that just isn't YouTube content. So if you guys follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you keep up to date with stuff like this. So awesome project. I'm happy with what we got out of it. You know, it was a big wild card going on to the mill, but I think this would make some really unique stuff. So it's going to be a while, but in the future, we'll get you some updates on what goes on with this. So one last thing I'm going to leave you guys with. I don't want you to think that I totally did this with no benefit to myself. Come into the shop with me. I got to show you one last thing. So as I mentioned, I am not getting paid for this. This is my little tiny contribution to the charity. But Cindy, who dropped off the log, left me with a tin of awesome banana muffins. So that's going to totally destroy my diet, but I'll be honest, I snuck one already this morning and they're pretty darn good. So I'm going to have to take these home to my wife and the kids so I don't eat them all. But that was very, very kind of her and totally not necessary, but I do appreciate it. So Ronald McDonald House, awesome cause. This was a great project. I had fun doing it. Like I said, keep track of me in the future here. We'll get you some more information about that auction if anybody's interested in that, and check them out. And that's all I got for you. See you next week with something totally different.